I think we let this Bible stay in too long in print at it's still 6,000 years. To me, that's more like, no, now let's go back to the 16th century and have a conversation with Isaac Newton and James Ussher and do it like this. Isaac Newton, what's your opinion on the date of creation? 4,000 BC? Are you sure about that? From James Ussher. I think this first met 1023, 4000 BC. Something happened, and we had to keep it like that. And then Isaac Newton looked at James Ussher and said, dude, you got it all wrong. And then he didn't have any children. He was after that. So for Elizabeth Terrell, having gotten it all wrong and having just followed this really bad Isaac Newton couldn't think of it out of a conversation as they're right there beside. I'm pretty sure the Earth was not created on any specific day, and those that we came before us got it all wrong yet. So just going with that, our 6,000-year Bible once upon a time contained. It didn't contain Isaac Newton's date of creation. However, we can repair it right now, and we bantered about the 3.5 years. I prefer Isaac Newton's because you can count pretty easily, but forward 500 whole years, and then get the Neo expulsion from the. It is not possible to provide in 1856 a description of the Garden of Eden because in the year 1956, a timestamp range for the range of creation appeared in our fossil discovered 40,000 year epoch, which was two sides of the same. So you followed an anti-fossil legend of actually creationism, and then the same 1859 caught up an antique fossil legend of Darwinism cult on the internet. And having done that, the University of Washington in the year 1858 did not understand that the 9,200-year-old fossil that showed up on 7/28, 1996 was the illegitimate missing link to the entire theory of evolution, which is that the teaching facilities are all hunched over like this, and we're all seeing all elders now with shit running down their legs. 6,000 years, Earthers continue to teach Darwin. 1611 staff continued to teach 1859 legend of Darwin. 1611's progression from the era of the dinosaurs of all fucking eras. Yeah. So here in front of you, this said God and Moses met face to face. Well, I had a bunch of words on the line circle in the Jehovah's Witnesses book in order to explain God left you in hell through the Middle Ages era of the dinosaurs. So refusing to look at your own book and accepting reality that your book's nothing in it at 4,000 either. 1611. Too hard for you. So that's where you're at, cult. Turn up, you turn off. And each and every word did this verse take you back to 4,000 or 1023, 4004 BC, and why didn't you try them both? And 1023, 3760, yeah, they talked about it. You won't even talk about how you're wrong. Can't admit it because you're a cult on the internet. What do we do to help you? You're wrong about even trying to date the age of creation, getting it all wrong. 6,000 years, thanks, NASA. Well, help us turn this off through a riddle or something. Mentally ill from the era of Palmer colleges, from the era of Harvard, 6,000 year Earth, mentally ill, Isaac Newton schools, Harvard. 6,000 year Earth, yeah, we grew up out of it, but we don't know how to read our red letter legend. We still have it. Bulbs, stupid, don't suck it on your own go addict. I want to cook. And Baptist, Bald saying, "Oh, stupid, sucking on your ungoated demonic cocks, right? I'm going to wobble up and say, Jesus was right here like this with the sheep." And nothing was there because he was an albino and you didn't do that. Word of the Lord came to me. Which then nothing was there because you were made from the 136 billion year white listened over. Nothing there's Australian Aboriginal people for real not. But it being that we're working in this transparent layer in time where Kenan just needs to be castrated for his book, then the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and made him the king of his fathers, stayed in Jerusalem. So God and Moses spoke face to face, and Jehovah was his name. And in the 7th year, Jehoiada strengthened himself and took the captives of hundreds. God and Moses spoke face to face, called on the internet, helping you turn off. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem take your book out of print if it had the word Jerusalem in it. And Jehoshaphat slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers. From there. You didn't know that story to take it out of print out because the earth was in 6,000 years of age when it was printed. So the what we're going through is from the year 1992, being the Russian apocryphatic without the age of the earth in it that I put 3760 to figure out why you can't turn it off back after or before the year 1986 and 1996. You follow the legend, freezing point in the history of the earth. You're all in know from the year 1996 and freezing point 1906. Balls seen all stupids. Floating near little diamond, large diamond, old chunks of rock can't make sense. Is the days of payload for real or not? And my Cold War, Adolf Hitler, born 8/3/2003, died 3/7/2003. Birthday to my dog is how it goes. 1986, from the year 1859, the Holy Bible revised, New Testament antique in the words of Christ in red. 1996, from the year 1859, the Holy Bible authorized version of the King James Bible antique. 1959, black and white. I love that one, and I can see it. 2006, it was a legend before that. So in the year 2016, so 2006, 1899, 100% Gideon apocryphal legend from the year, a combative force here. I'll have to outline. This came from this year in this combative force of this reduction. This little put it in your back pocket and figure out what's wrong with it. Reduction is the 1899 ticket to the movie Alpha when you learn that the Earth was old and throw it at the movie Alpha, or a Big Bang Theory and say a penny shape of an Raj straighten up your lips. 1899 apocryphatic legend from 1891. 1891 cult turn off at for apocryphatic era. Your Bible then remained at 100% 1611 apocrypha. English apocrypha. So the 1611 English apocryphatic that appeared in the year 1959 is the turn-off point for going back into 1899 for the two verses I'm outlining. God and Moses spoke face to face. God and Moses spoke face to face 2 times. And from those 2 instances in the 1611, you don't have a brain cell having been made from the 136 million year old worthless and double faster 770 age of the Alps. You don't have a brain cell. Because there's 2. So no one's ever seen God at John 1:18 take 1 whole minute to figure out if that's correct. Read it the second time. Take 2 whole minutes to figure out what Deuteronomy 34:10 meant. It was the 1611's 1611 contained remained with a 6,000-year Earth turnoff point for being itself an apocryphatic with God and Moses speaking face to face, explain that and outline it, and explain it as it happened to remain at Moses' obituary. You like how small that is? The obituary of Moses. So when you pick up a holy, sniff it again, you're reading the obituary of Moses. You're reading an antique legend of your creation narrative, is what you're doing. Skipping over everywhere that God sprinkled some masturbating on the ground and got you on accident. So Jehovah Witnesses. The Jehovah Witnesses cult turn off everything from the year 1891 using 4000 BC they forgot about. I gotta go pick up their book. They printed another legend. And from 1961. So this obituary of Moses then next into so outlined in all of the antiques, the obituary of Moses, the lost ancestral record of the 6,000 year deductive one. What Bibles? Where did it go? Blah. And then let me explain to you. The Bible became so shitty that when you had it like this, and you once upon a time pretended you were teaching it correct, I'm going to make something out of this. Ahijah, the son of Heaven, began to reign over Israel and Samaria in the 17th year of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, and reigned for 2 years over Israel. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord. And Joshua rose early. Did you do that to find that verse? Destroying the men, women, and children in every city. Trees, lignoles, with the Lord, which the Lord hath planted. You're walking in this fucking garden, you idiots. The yeah, okay, 4000 BC did not happen. God and Moses did not speak face to face, but the Lord, however, did plant these lignoles on circa 1410 BC. You don't have that posted up behind your wall. And then by the river Beatrice sat down and wept. In your back. He planted those. So that's pretty cool. I just got onto that one. And I saw that it pleased the Lord to bless, so he went not other times to seek enchantments. He went not. He set his face towards the wilderness. But Alam lifted The Spirit of God came. This spirit is fearful. Let me follow a little quill theory. Quill theory. Quell theory. And what I recognize working with Darwin for so long, the Quell theory theorization of common ancestry is what you're working with here with the red letters. God brought forth not to Egypt, out of Egypt. God, he shall out. Taking the Bible out of print. Higher than kings shall be higher than Agag. His kingdom shall be exalted. The year 1666, you follow the legend. As it were the strength of a unicorn. I love it. Oh, yes. Oh, in the year 1666, you continued with the same fucking legend, morons. Okay. And then you got a unicorn reference. Okay, unicorn. So through 2005, 2010, Swagger did it again. The unicorn evolved out into a hippo. Not even a good one. Not with the into red letter. You don't have green. And blessed is he that bless thee. And cursed is he that curses thee. See, you don't have anything in this book called on the internet. You're called. And Balak's anger was kindled. Having lost God in your book. Balaam. The meaning of life says 42. Smote. Balak. I'm a Hasidic. Curse mine enemies. Go throw airplanes into their buildings. Blessed be these 3 times. 9/11/1, 9/11/2, 9/11/3. So from circa 1410 BC, we then had 9/11. We experienced it. While the Earth was not 6,000 years old, this book was still in print. I can't turn it off. Why not? 9/11. 2001. Tower 1. And the Lord kept the Lord kept the back from owner. 9/11 Tower 2. Saying 9/11 Tower 3. Take me out of print because 1410 BC actually happened. And then you had 9/11. And then you kept this entire thing as a legend. Because right here, as having kept it entirely as a legend, difficult on the internet, where they wrote clearly and gauzily and vicariously and just not keeping good track of any things. We can't use that, so I'll go read that to you. And that's why you can't get off the internet. The chronology of the events you have trust in that you shouldn't. The chronology of the events recorded in the book of Genesis, so you still can't accept you shouldn't have been born. That cannot be established with absolute certainty. But I can explain to you shouldn't have been born, but straighten up your lives. And we're getting you off the internet. Doubtless covers were taking this out of print and we're saying sorry, now so we have you. As I continue to read, in the beginning, since the author of Genesis did not suggest a date of creation, so we're done. And at the end, Revelation 16, verse 17, we're done with the whole book. Revelation 16, verse 17. And you're done with the whole book. Right there. Date not possible. Unless you open up your eyes for reality. Antique. Red letter legend. Medieval. Reality setting. And we're done. Y'all know. And these are the generations of Isaac. Abraham begat Isaac. 40 years. Rebecca, wife, daughter, Bethel, best friend of my dog Balak, the Padanaran, the sister Laban, the Syrian. So in 1610, Menertial, next, blank it out for being old, antique, and this is doctoral reference. God and Moses spoke face to face. Moses wrote this down. Joshua redacted. Did he get it correct? And Isaac entreated the Lord for the wife because she was barren. So let me explain what happened. And Isaac entreated for his wife because Isaac was provided a concubine. Sisterly, you're going to have babies later. Have fun. Go so long. Have fun. Keep doing what you're doing. And the Lord assigned, and Rebecca conceived per schedule. The children struggled together with her per schedule. So there's your book of Joshua. If it be there's your Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. There's the Ethiopic Church top and Tawiahila's collapse at. For even having this book still, not knowing what year it is in the Alps. The children struggled. 770, why is that so hard? Yeah. It's right here as you get into the doctoral. And the Lord said unto her face to face. 2 nations are in that one. Face to face. You came from being barren. I'm going to bless you. 2 nations. Isaac. The elder shall serve the younger. There's a lot in that. But when her days to be delivered, 1610, it was a legend before that. It was a legend after. 1610. Go here. Right, 1610 right here. Then they published this book. Yeah, and in 1959. Good job. It was better back then. And good job. It was actually pretty fucking good when you kept it. And then you bastardized it into all of this other bullshit I'm getting rid of for you. We're going to something real. Fulfilled. And the first came out red all over hair garments. So you can do some Darwinian logic right there and called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and then you got Balsino stupid and 6,000 stuck. His hand that took him on Esau's hill, 3760, did not follow along very well. 1800 BC, they got correct. And so we'll give them that for the posterity, keeping it in legend. And three score, they knew how to write a word back then. When she bare him. So a infertile mistress, concubine, sister. We're putting it together. You're gonna have fun for a few years, and then you want to you're gonna swell up, and the boys grow, and then 3 years later they have another. Cunning. Book of Jasher. So you needed the Book of Jasher for real, and the Mormon Church to collapse that with. Book of Jasher conclusion, and it's actually Joshua's handwritten notes. 8 is venison, that's Rabbi Shimon, and I'll have to put the birth date of my dog right here. Okay, so while Maxwell was alive, I ate venison with him when Mount Steptoe had a 40,000-year cone on it, and Rebecca loved chicken. So Moses de Leon on passed away in. And Jacob went on his journey and into the land, saw Isaac Newton. Without ever seeing God, and Moses spoke face to face, and Laban called Jegrahath, but Jacob called Gilead, and understanding the entire book was legend after that, at 4,000. And with a perfect time stamping for when that legend actually took place, because that's was the purpose of the methodological chronology to make sure those words were correct and taught properly. And then you ended up with the red letter legend of Jesus Small, having left us in antique and valid after the year 1859, antique and valid right here. And beautiful. This is a holy Bible. It's mine now. You don't get it. You don't get it. It's too good for you. And now it came to pass, it's too good for you, God and Moses spoke face to face. If I should say I have God, if I should, I have a husband also, and should also bear sons. Built on the internet. It's too good for you at 6 houses. Nothing in it. No, it came to pass for the days when there's nothing in it, Judges. Nothing in it. Time to get rid of it. Nothing in your brains.